Okay, hello girls. Hope you missed me because I'm back. But I'm sitting here trying to be Miss FBI detective on why you keep oversharing with people that shouldn't know your business. People that hurt you, that take the information you trust them with and go gossip about you to other people, that take the information you trust them with and try to hurt you in whatever way possible. We are going to talk about oversharing. Because to be honest, 50% of the people you think are your friends don't care about you, and 25% of the people you think to be friends are friends with you for the wrong reasons, are friends with you for collecting information on you and hurting you. Let's be real, not everybody is as good of a friend as you are, and that is why you need to learn that privacy is power and protecting yourself is what needs to start coming first for the rest of this year and in the future. Well, that was an intense way to start the episode, but hello, girls. I'm back. I took a 1-month siesta. If you are returning, I'm so happy that you're here. And if you are new, hi, I'm Lana, and I started this entire podcast all about self-improvement and becoming the best version of yourself. If you're into that, then be sure to click the follow button wherever you listen. I'm very glad that you're here. Let's all level up together. And be sure to follow all of my socials. Everything is linked down below. But let's get straight into a high and a low, a shout out, and the bulk of this episode where we're going to talk all about why privacy is power and how to become a more private person as a chronic oversharer. So a high of this week is the fact that I'm back on the podcast. As I previously mentioned, I took a 1-month break just because school got a lot, then I had personal stuff, then, it happens. But I just took a step back because I wanted to only give you the best quality content, the content where I am energized, I'm ready to talk to you. And if I'm struggling with all of the other things, I'm not going to show up as the best version of myself. Quite frankly, I wouldn't have the time. So I'm back, and hopefully this will be consistent for the rest of the year. That is my goal. And a low is the fact that my stomach has been really upset for the past, I would say 24 hours, but I'm getting better. I think I got some kind of 24-hour bug where my stomach just hurt and I could only eat bread or bread-like substances for the past 24 hours, but I'm feeling better. I could eat normal food again. I could eat a piece of fruit without feeling sick, so I think I'm good. I think I'm on the mend. And finally, a shout out. So Sim commented in Spotify, "Thank you so much, Lana. I hope you realize how much you help all of us girlies become the best versions of us. You're so gorgeous inside and out. You're such a beautiful soul. I really hope you grow the podcast to reach more gals." Well, thank you so much, Sim, for that lovely, lovely comment. And I'm just so glad that you appreciate the podcast and you find that it helps you to become the best version of you. And also to all of the girls that DM'd me during my 1-month siesta of where's the podcast episode? I love you. I appreciate you. I'm so happy to be back. And never stop flooding my DMs because I'd love to hear, your life, your situations, whether this episode is relevant to you, whether you want an episode in the future. I want to hear it all. And if you want a shout out, just be sure to comment in Spotify or YouTube or leave me an Apple Podcast review and I'll be sure to give you a shout out that way. Okay, so I came to this breakthrough last week, where I gave a piece of information to someone and then I had chronic anxiety for 48 hours. My stomach hurt in a different way. My stomach hurt as in I was anxious because I realized that I gave information that I did not want publicly disclosed to somebody that I did not want to know. You get what I'm saying? And then I sat there and I felt so upset at myself. And then I realized that that's me all the time. I always share stuff with people and then I regret it because it's oversharing, because it's information that I was not yet comfortable with telling other people. Maybe it was a struggle that I'm dealing with and I need to first figure out how to internally deal with it, then externally. Maybe it was a really cool opportunity, but not everyone is happy for you. So maybe they already dumped all this negative comments on you after you shared it with them, hoping that they would be excited for you. Oversharing sucks, but if you're listening to this episode, you struggle with it and I struggle with it. I realized last week that, to be honest, privacy is power. I would rather say less than constantly say more. Okay. And I get I'm a hypocrite because you're Lana, you literally have a podcast, but this is different. This is me trying to help you. This isn't me spilling every single tiny detail of my entire life because at the end of the day, we show only parts of ourselves to certain people, and we only show the best versions of ourselves online. And that's like, obviously I want this place to be a positive space, but I'm not going to be spilling every single secret I have. Like, that's not my place, and I wouldn't feel comfortable doing so. And you shouldn't feel comfortable spilling every single secret, every single success and loss to people that you don't fully trust, whether that's online or in person. And I realized being secretive is hot. Keeping things in the dark is mysterious. It's what we want to go for. And this isn't just having a private Instagram account. This is like in real life, with friends, with coworkers, with family members that don't have your best intentions. You need to learn how to overshare less. So let's first talk about why we overshare. Because I did some research, I did some digging, because I'm a chronic oversharer. That is what it is. But I wanted to figure out why. So first and foremost, for me, and probably for a lot of you, you overshare because you're seeking validation. You are seeking someone for comfort, for approval, right? Like, oh, did I text this guy correctly? Did I say the right thing? Is it okay that I, didn't answer her back? Is it okay that I, skipped the gym? You're constantly seeking validation from your own choices, decisions, you're struggling to make something, etc. And consultation is not bad, but not everybody should consult you, okay? There is this field in the industry called consulting, where businesses pay this consulting business thousands of millions of dollars to tell this business what to do. But I'm sorry, a business isn't going to hire anybody off the street to consult them. When millions of dollars are on the line, like, they're going to consult with the best. They're going to hire the best, the most trustworthy, the highest rated consulting business. You should do the same. If you choose to take a piece of information to a friend as a consultation, looking for advice, they should be the most trustworthy friend ever. They shouldn't be any friend. They should be the friend, okay? And I'm telling this to you because I seek validation a lot from other people. I think for girls, it's like a thing for girls. We always are like talking, sharing about our feelings, emotions, and that's great, but not everybody should be a consultant for you, okay? Not everybody should be consulting you on what you should do, on what you shouldn't have done. And sometimes, especially if you're really struggling with something, it's best to like first figure it out on your own, right? Like, stop constantly, because it's like a pattern, like it's a habit of constantly seeking other people's approval. And then after you kind of figure out what you want to do, then you can go and ask a trusted friend or two. But remember, we are only picking the best consultants, not anybody. Another reason why we overshare is the illusion of closeness, where you think you're close to somebody, but in reality, it's a very one-sided relationship. People will listen to you. There's people that will listen to your drama, your successes, your losses, everything. But if people are not as vulnerable as you are, if they are not matching your level, then that is a one-sided relationship, and that is the illusion of closeness. Like, that friend is just there to like keep tabs on you. That friend is not there for your best intentions. Another reason why we overshare is vent, okay? Sometimes something happens, a guy didn't text you back, you got fired from your job, whatever, right? You got a bad grade, you don't like the professor, etc. You go and vent to your friends. A lot of times venting is like a quick, like, you make a decision, you just have to like throw it out there. But sometimes you need to sit and stop and ask yourself, first, do I need to vent, especially to this person? And especially when you're in a very emotional state, generally when you're venting, you're like angry or you're sad or something, right? When you're in an emotional state, you will say things that sometimes you regret. And if it's not a trusted person, that not trusted person can go and tell other people what you said, and then you're going to regret it even more. And there is a big difference between venting and vulnerability. So vulnerability means being open and honest with your friend. And again, it should be reciprocated. If you're vulnerable with one thing, they're vulnerable with another, right? Obviously, you're not like scoring things, but you need to think, do I know about this person's successes and losses? Does this person feel comfortable sharing their successes with me and their losses? And am I comfortable doing the same? And again, when you vent, they need to be the best person to vent to. It can't be someone that will go and talk behind your back, and it can't be someone that has not proven themselves over and over to be trustworthy. And sometimes instead of venting, let me tell you, go vent to God, because he's not going to be gossiping about you behind your back, and journal. Because sometimes you have to work through those big emotions by yourself. Then you can take a step back, take some rational, think a little bit more rationally, and then you can make a decision without having to vent to like a bunch of friends or consult a bunch of friends. And finally, trusting people too soon, okay? Just because someone is friendly doesn't mean they're a friend. And if you're anything like me, you're very open, you're bubbly, you like want to get to know people, and that's great. And I used to give everyone 100% of my trust, but now instead of like giving them 100% and slowly weaning that trust, because that's a lot harder to wean, I now only give them 10% of trust, and then I build. Like I give them like little things about me, and if they don't talk behind my back, if they can keep a secret, if they're equally vulnerable, if they're a good friend, if they're showing up, then I start trusting them more and more. Then I'm more comfortable. Like there's a couple of friends in my life that I'm comfortable calling and venting to because I know that they have my best intentions at heart. And they've called me and they've vented to me, and I keep all their secrets under lock and key. And that's a good friendship. But that's like literally a quarter of all of my friends. You know how like little that is? That's like 3-4 people. That's not a lot. And it's really hard when you want to trust everyone and you want to trust, think of people as the best versions of them. But you need to look at people without the rose-colored glasses. Look at the reality of them. They're a stranger. Until they have proven otherwise, they don't need to know all of the ins and outs of your life. Okay, now we're going to talk about the hidden costs of oversharing, okay? Number 1, not everyone deserves access to you, okay? When did friendship become a free sample that everyone can try? Like, I'm sorry, did you put your friendship up for sale on eBay for like 2 cents? Because right now there's a free sign on your friendship, and that's not how it should work. There's a ladybug on my camera. Not everyone deserves access to you, and not everyone deserves your friendship, especially if they are not a good friend, especially if they are toxic, especially if they're fake. Some people act supportive, but secretly want you to fail. Notice how they react when you achieve what you wanted. Are they happy for you? Okay? And there is something in psychology called micro reactions. Right when you tell someone something, look at their face. Look at how they're reacting. Are they surprised and like you can see that they're ready to smile? That's a true friend. If they frown or already, not even frown, some of them don't even hide it. They're like, oh, you didn't tell me anything. Do I owe you information? No. Anyway, I just got a little sassy. But seriously, some people act supportive and they're not happy for you. Look at their micro reactions and even look at how they react when you win in life. Are they constantly like throwing like negative energy towards you? They're not happy for you. And low-key, it's kind of giving insecure, but we'll get into that later. Fake friends will keep tabs on you and your struggles, but again, they won't clap for your wins. Like sometimes I call these fake friends the data harvesters, okay? They're only there to get information from you, and they never, it's a one-way street. They're collecting data. It's like a big, Google Drive or big database. They're just collecting all this data, and they never give you data about them. They're in your life to keep tabs on you to see, how successful are you? Who are you dating? Who are you friends with? How much money are you making, etc. But they're not your friend. And data harvester friends need to be cut, okay? Cut. Because these people are fake, and it's a very one-sided relationship where you're the only one being vulnerable and they aren't. Another cost of oversharing is it gives people power over you. Because the more they know, the more they can use against you. Ever noticed how someone will throw your past in your face when it benefits them? Like, there are people in my life that have thrown my past failures, mistakes, insecurities, and secrets that I shared in confidence out in public. And that's always the ickiest feeling because you sit there and you're like, wow, that is not a true friend. When people know your weaknesses, they know how to manipulate you, okay? If you share your insecurities, your vulnerabilities, even like your personal life with someone, they will target and pick on your vulnerabilities and shortcomings constantly. I have had friends that they're constantly they're constantly biting me. They're stinging me. They're like, always making little negative comments about things that I'm quite sensitive about. It sounds dark, but it genuinely happens, and not everyone is as nice as you are. And finally, the final cost of oversharing is you're blocking your own success. because there's actually a psychological effect that happens when you speak on things before they happen. So when you achieve something, you get this big rush of dopamine, you're happy, you're excited. Think about the feeling after you're done with an exam, you get a job, the boy texts you back, whatever, right? You're excited. But if you're talking about something like your goals before you actually achieve them, then that also releases dopamine. And this isn't good because then it can limit you from putting in the work to achieve what you wanted. Like if you were talking to your friend about, oh, I want to apply to this company for a job or for an internship and I'm going to get in. Why are you telling them that? A, and B, you are releasing dopamine. You didn't get in yet. I need to see you updating your resume. I need to see you preparing for the interview. I need to see you networking with the company. Why are you saying you're going to get in without putting in the work? So I want all of you girls to just keep your mouth, like if you want to achieve something, your mouth needs to just, okay, don't tell people what you want to achieve. Do not tell people all of your goals. Obviously, there's trusted people, right? Like my mom. My mom knows everything about me, all of my insecurities, the worst things I've done in my life, everything, because I trust her. There are, those select 3 friends that know very much about me because I trust them. Not everybody, and not everybody should know everything about you. Okay, so now how to stop oversharing. I have 5 little tips because I find it very helpful to keep these in the back of my mind, especially now that I'm very aware of how much I overshare, and hopefully they will help you. So, grab your phone notes app, grab a pen and paper, let's write them down so we can focus on being more private together. Number 1, go fishing. Okay, let me explain. A conversation with anybody, whether that is a friend or an acquaintance or somebody that you literally just met, it's like going fishing. You throw out a little bit of information, like the little reel and with the little worm in it, you throw it in the river and you see if the fish bites. And if the fish bites, aka the other person you're having a conversation with, then you can continue. If the fish does not bite, you stop the conversation. You are choosing how much you say based on how the conversation is going. I need your full emotional intelligence brain cells on board here, okay? Let me give you a case study of how you go fishing when it comes to sharing your information and sharing your life. For example, if a classmate walks up to you and says, "Oh, how did your day go?" And then you go into an in-depth explanation of your whole day and how you studied and then the fact that this stopped and then this stopped and you're struggling with this homework and whatever. Why are you sharing that much? Quite frankly, why are you even sharing that much with a friend? Are they asking for an in-depth play-by-play of your day? No. Just say, "Pretty good. I struggle with some homework. What about you?" You give a little of information. You don't just say good because that's giving like no social skills whatsoever. If they bite and they say, "Oh, me too. Are you in XYZ class?" Then you share back, "Yes." And then you continue the conversation. You need to check if the other person is biting with the reaction, okay? You need to be attuned with, is the person wanting to go further in the conversation, asking me detailed questions, or are they just saying pretty good, and then that's it? Were they just asking about your day to be polite? They might not want every single detail, and you don't want to hold them hostage by giving them a full spiel of your entire day. Outside of polite talk, the same thing should be going for your friends or literally any other conversation. Slowly reveal little tiny bits of information and see if the person genuinely wants a conversation or they're just talking to talk. With your friends, for example, maybe reveal a little bit of information about you're struggling with something in regards to your health and see if they reciprocate by revealing their issues by keeping your trust. That vulnerability does bring a relationship closer. It's part of building a strong friendship. But if they're not catching the bait, if they're not reciprocating that information, then do not continue revealing information to them. Remember, every conversation is like going fishing. Throw out a little bit of bait, just a tiny bit, and see if they reciprocate. If not, they don't need more information. Another tip is talk less and ask more questions, okay? Instead of always yapping about yourself, ask more questions. People love to talk about themselves. So, number 1, asking more questions is going to make you seem like an amazing conversationalist. People will love talking to you, and you're going to be busy listening to them and asking questions than constantly talking about yourself. Talk less, ask more, listen more. And I do this all the time, especially when a conversation gets awkward. A lot of times we overshare because maybe there's like a little weird lapse in the conversation where nobody is talking. It's really awkward. Everyone's just staring at each other. And then you just like blab some weird info on you. Instead, ask questions about them, because I find that asking more questions helps my relationships grow and it helps me not overshare constantly. That's a win-win. Number 3 is stop over-explaining. So I'm an overthinker and thus I'm an over-explainer, okay? I always need to explain, have excuses, talk so much about every little thing. You don't owe explanations for your choices. Like, if you choose to skip class one day because maybe you aren't feeling well, you don't need to be telling every single person that you were sick. Just tell the professor, okay? You're good. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Like, you don't always need to make an excuse. If you're not comfortable sharing information, no thanks, I don't want to talk about it. If you don't want to go, no. You don't always need to have an excuse behind it. Like, no, I have a nail appointment at 5 o'clock, then I have to go home. Like, no. Just say no. It's so much cleaner, it's so much nicer, and sometimes we need more women in male fields. Just nonchalant, no. Guys do it. Why can't we do it? I don't know. Keep details vague when talking to people you don't fully trust, okay? I actually do something very similar on this podcast. I do not reveal names on this podcast. I do not reveal companies on this podcast. I don't reveal numbers on this podcast because that's private information that the world doesn't need to know all the time. I love you girls. I love you a lot, but I can't be sharing all of this private information on me. And I think a lot of you girls should start doing the same. Like, if you don't fully trust someone, don't tell them what company you're working for next summer. Don't say names of the guy you're seeing or, a new friend you made. Like, you don't need to constantly be telling people everything about you. And if you want to mention something about, I did get an internship, you don't need to disclose which company. They do like pay me like decently well. You don't need to disclose the number of like your wage. I did get a good score. You don't need to disclose the test score you got to your friends. Like, it's stuff that you don't always need to share with people. And sometimes if you are constantly over-explaining or oversharing, especially when it comes to, names, people, companies, accomplishments, grades, etc., sit back and think, what am I trying to prove? Because I've seen the people that tend to overshare the most and constantly brag about their grades and talk about money and scores and whatnot, they're the most insecure because they're trying to prove themselves. Tip number 4 is be selective with who you confide in. I think confiding in someone is important. You're not supposed to be some vault and you never tell anyone anything. Confiding helps bring you closer to a person, but you need to ensure that you confide in the right people, okay? Remember, again, as the beginning of the episode, the best consultants, we are not consulting with strangers on the street. And so pause before you spill. Literally ask yourself, does this person need to know this information? Like, before you tell them about, I got this really cool job offer, stop and wonder, do they need to know this information? Ask yourself, has this person shown me that they're trustworthy? Have they shared equally vulnerable things? Have they ever talked behind my back? Do they gossip about others? Because again, if someone gossips to you, they gossip about you. Are they unhappy with themselves? Insecure, unhappy people are more likely to gossip and try to ruin you. Do they keep past secrets? Does this person actually care, or are they just curious? Okay. If they're only asking for the losses in your life, the things you're struggling with, they're just curious and not in the best ways. I always like to test people with small bits of information, again, kind of like fishing, before telling them big things. Because sometimes some people genuinely can't keep their mouth shut and they cannot handle information on you. And that's not that they're a bad person, it's just they can't. Some people are insecure and they're literally preying on your downfall. Some people are collecting your insecurities and then using them against you by constantly putting these tiny little negative comments all the time when you hang out with them. So just warning you. Finally, tip number 5, let your actions speak. People can't ruin what they don't know about, okay? If they didn't hear from me, it's none of their business. People don't need to know everything. You don't need to speak about everything. Just let your actions speak. Instead of telling everyone about your internship or your job, just have your job and eventually post it on LinkedIn. Okay? Not everything needs a play-by-play. Some things hit harder when you just pop out with results, okay? Not every friend deserves the screenshots, the drama, the health scare, your goals. Not every friend should be entrusted with that information. Again, select group of best friends, yes, if they're equally vulnerable and if they have never broken your trust before. Because once trust is broken, that's it. You're never going to get information out of me again. Because for me, trust is a big thing. Again, let your actions speak. If you are succeeding in something, if you are trying to achieve a goal, do not tell anyone about it other than trusted people. And then once you hit the goal, then once things are solidified, you can share, not in a bragging way. And if you don't want to share, you don't have to share at all. Just saying, you can always do that. All right, so I hope those tips helped. I guess for the girls that overshare, let me go back through the 5 tips, okay? Go fishing, talk less and ask more questions, stop over-explaining, be selective with who you confide in, and let your actions speak, okay? So my challenge for the overshares, which I'm currently have been doing for the past week and I will do for eternity, is pick one thing in your life that you've been talking about too much, whether that's, your grades, the job you want, whatever, and keep it private for a month. See how much peace you feel when people don't have access to every single detail of your life. When you're able to make a decision based on what you think and not by consulting 50 people. And finally, the quote of the week, privacy is power. What people don't know, they can't ruin. I've mentioned it throughout this episode, but privacy is power. If you want to be respected, if you want to protect yourself and protect your issues, your reputation, your relationships, you need to understand privacy is power. Keep your mouth shut, keep your goals nice and close to you, and figure out the people that are your true friends. Get rid of the fake ones and just learn how to go throughout life without constantly oversharing every detail of your life. All right, girls. Well, I hope you really liked this episode. Again, I'm glad to be back and I will see you in 2 weeks. Bye-bye.